Let's dive right into this explainer and explore the massive, totally invisible infrastructure that powers our modern digital world. I'm talking, of course, about Amazon Web Services, or AWS. We use it every single day, usually without even realizing it, but it is quite literally the engine humming right beneath the hood of the internet. Think about it for a second. When you load up your favorite website, stream a movie, or check an app on your phone, where does that data actually live? We throw around the word cloud so much that it's super easy to forget that the internet requires real physical space. It's not just magically floating up there in the sky. It's anchored to the ground. And the sheer scale of the hidden operation making this all possible is absolutely staggering. For the longest time, most of us just thought of Amazon as the everything store, where you buy books and electronics. But AWS, it is far from just some side project. It's a foundational, on-demand cloud computing platform that provides networking, storage, and processing capacity. And the thing that makes this so revolutionary is its metered, pay-as-you-go model. Basically, AWS frees clients from the massive headache of buying, scaling, and patching their own hardware. You just rent the exact amount of computing power you need. This shift totally changed how modern businesses operate. Back in the day, if a company wanted to grow, they had to physically build actual server farms. That meant buying expensive hardware, renting massive real estate, and hiring huge teams just to keep the servers cool and running. It was slow, and it was incredibly expensive. Amazon came in and offered the ultimate alternative, getting large-scale computing capacity way faster and cheaper through on-demand virtual clusters. You skip the entire physical build-up. So how do they actually pull off this virtualization? Well, one of their most foundational services is called Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, or EC2. Basically, EC2 gives users a virtual cluster of computers that you can interact with right over the internet. But here's the magic part. These virtual computers emulate all the attributes of a real computer. You still pick your CPUs, your RAM, your SSD storage, and your operating systems. It feels exactly like real hardware, but it lives seamlessly in Amazon's massive data centers. But let's not forget the physical reality behind this virtual network. AWS delivers all these services via a sprawling network of physical server farms located all over the globe. To give you just a little idea of the footprint we're talking about, AWS operates from tons of global geographical regions, including 9 in North America alone. It's a highly secure, massive physical footprint designed to make sure everything stays up and running with extremely high availability. And all of this infrastructure enables what might be the most powerful feature of the cloud: autoscaling. Think of AWS kind of like a utility grid, just like the electricity in your house. When you flip on a light switch, you draw more power, and you pay for that power. When you turn it off, you stop paying. Autoscaling applies that exact same logic to web traffic and computing power.
Let's look at how that actually plays out in practice. Imagine you launch a new product and suddenly your app goes viral. Step 1, traffic spikes. Now, if you owned your own physical servers, they'd probably crash from the overload. But with AWS, we hit step 2. Your computing capacity automatically scales up to handle the massive surge in users. Then, maybe overnight, the hype dies down. Step 3, traffic drops. Instantly, we move to step 4. AWS automatically scales your capacity back down, immediately cutting your costs. You're only paying for exactly what you use right at the moment you use it.
Okay, so the next crucial thing we've got to talk about is security. When you put your company's data in the cloud, who's actually protecting it? AWS uses what they call a shared security model. Amazon handles the physical security. They literally lock the physical doors of the data centers to make sure the hardware is safe. But the rest, that's on the subscriber. You are completely responsible for managing your own accounts, running your own vulnerability scans, and patching your own software. Think of it this way. Amazon provides a highly secure building, but you still have to remember to lock the door to your own virtual apartment. Because of this insane flexibility, Amazon has built a massive lead in the industry. Looking at data from Synergy Research Group for the first quarter of 2023, AWS commanded a staggering 31% of the cloud infrastructure market. They're the clear dominant force here, beating out deep-pocketed rivals like Microsoft Azure at 25% and Google Cloud trailing at 11%. AWS didn't just enter this market, they basically invented the modern version of it, and they are definitely holding onto the crown. And that level of market dominance is built on deep, deep trust. It's not just tech startups and global corporations using them. We're talking about the highest levels of government. AWS was actually the very first cloud provider to build infrastructure tailored specifically to U.S. government security requirements. They launched AWS GovCloud back in 2011. By 2014, they rolled out AWS Top Secret, which was accredited for classified workloads. And by 2017, with AWS Secret, they hit accreditation across all U.S. government data classifications. Meaning, when the government needs to store top secret intelligence, they are utilizing the exact same physical infrastructure network that hosts your favorite streaming apps. Wild, right? Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. We've seen exactly how this incredible system works, from virtual EC2 clusters to massive physical server farms and the magic of dynamic autoscaling. But it really leaves us with a profound realization. Our boundless, seemingly virtual digital lives are entirely dependent on highly centralized physical hardware owned by just a few massive corporations. If our whole virtual world relies on these physical server farms, we really have to ask ourselves, who truly holds the keys to the future of the internet? It is a fascinating paradigm to think about as the cloud continues to expand. Keep that in mind the next time you log on.